Hey everybody, it's Jason with JR Custom Designs. I want to go ahead and show everybody the Nova 24 desktop laser from Thunder Laser. We'll go over some of the things that's on it, details, things like that, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comment section. Alright, so without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started with that. The machine itself looks really well. It's about 300 pounds, and it does sit on a desktop just like the name implies. But I built a little rolling stand here to put the chiller and the fan, my rotary, and my toolbox and all that stuff on there. This one is I believe it's a 60 watt. It's the highest powered one they got, 60 or 65. I'll have to check. But anyways, they have it in two different size laser tubes, and this is the biggest one they had. So the system runs off of the standard Rita controller. But Thunder has some neat features that allow them to use the U access and stuff for your rotary, just by plugging it in and having it ready to go. So anyways, just to go over a couple things with the head. If you look at the head here, the head rides on these steel rails, top and bottom. It's kind of sandwiched between two rollers on the top and the bottom, and it glides across there. Really smooth, nice action, really firm. There's no play in it whatsoever. The motors for the X-axis are driven by lead shine servo motors. I don't know the details on servo motors. I'm not too familiar with them, but from what I gather, they are probably one of the best motors that they had. Not this motor particularly, but servo motors in general are one of the best to have. Has the same number 2 mirror there. It's got a beam combiner to allow for a red dot pointer, which you can see pointing down there, and you can see it shining in the lens there. Then it has the head itself, which again, it's a standard head. It's a little bit smaller than most. Obviously, for the machine, you don't need to have that big of a head, and plus it helps with the speeds of the machine as well. Another cool thing they come out with is they have the IR sensors. Basically, it's almost like your garage door sensors. When you cross the path, it opens your garage or closes it, whatever's going on. You can see the red light coming on and off. What that does when you do autofocus, it takes the material. When it reads the material, it stops it, lowers it down to where it needs to be, and stops it. So that's a pretty cool feature. So no more touch probes or anything like that. The only problem I see with that is, like, I like doing stuff up front, close. With this, basically, it's not that big a deal, but you got to push it back, do an autofocus, then you can pull it up and do it wherever you want on the bed. So that's the only thing you got to watch out for. Also, the IR sensors do not pick up clear acrylics or glass. So if you're going to do that, you might want to put some tape or something around the edge of it so that the sensor can actually pick up the material when it hits the tape. I found that out not knowing, and luckily my head wasn't in the way, or it would have crashed it. But I mean, that is a downfall to it, but I mean, it's a pretty accurate system the way it works. It'd be nice to see two sensors, front and back, on both sides. That way you could have anything anywhere here, and then the combined beam, because it kind of casts out about an 1.5 to 2 inch band across. So having two of those would be really nice and help with the autofocus and not having to worry about it. Now doing round objects, I got the roller. This is a rotary that I come up with for this machine and others like it. Small machine that sits on the knife blades, real low profile, and works really well on this machine. The only thing you have to watch out for is the tower. This machine, it zeroes to the left rear instead of the right rear like most do. You can change that on your laser if you want. It doesn't really matter, but it's just, you got to make sure the homing switches are in that position though, because I know on some of the lasers there are homing switches and they're only in one spot. The only reason why I say that is because when this is done on this machine particularly, it goes to home position or park position. which is off and to the left. If yours is off and to the right, you have to worry about this, so you might want to turn that feature off on Lightburn Already Works or whatever you're using for this machine. All right. It comes with the it comes already with the CW5000 chiller, which is actually a chiller, not like the 3000, which is not a chiller. It's just an ambient air cooler, basically like a radiator in a car. Doesn't do anything special. The 5000 is a lot better for doing this stuff. Now you got your e-stop button, nice big button. You got some cool lights up here when it's green. I forget which way it is. Oh, it's when it's working, it's red. When it's done, it's green. Or when it's stopped, it's green. Which is good if you're running jobs and you have a laser on the opposite side of the shop. And it's a quick reference. You can look over and see that the machine is done. Over here, it comes with a bunch of keys, so I just piled them up inside here. Nice heavy duty drag chain, real nice, flexible. The belt looks like it's got a 10 or 15 millimeter belt on it. I'm not sure, I haven't measured it. And another servo motor right there for your Y-axis, or this is for your X, sorry. Your Y is on the other side. Or no, sorry, brain fart. This is your Y, X is in the back, right there. Anyways, so that's nice, clean setup. This machine has all your electronics, which looks like a nightmare. There's a lot of stuff down there. Relays, switches, junction blocks, circuit breaker. And you get your circuit breaker back here. So if anything trips, it doesn't work. It's be one of the places you want to look to see. Got some nice cooling fans. Look like probably 90 millimeter cooling fans. And that's pretty much it. I won't go into detail on how things, what all is in here as far as the technical features. If you get one, you can tinker with that yourself. But I'm not going to divulge that information because I don't know what the restrictions are on that. But anyways, it's got a single out plug, nice heavy duty cable, 20 amp. Then you also got your air pump and your exhaust fan that plug into the machine because they're on a time delay. So when you start the machine, as you can hear right now, nothing's running. But as soon as I hit the start button, you can hear everything power up. The fan, the air compressor, all that stuff fires up. And then once you're done, light goes green. Give about a 10-15 second delay. And your air pump kicks off. And shortly after that, your exhaust fan kicks off, which is pretty neat. So you don't have to worry about turning those on and off. You just gotta make sure your chiller's on, which would be really nice if they could integrate the chiller into that circuitry somehow. Obviously, you'd probably need to supply a different power cord for that, just because of the power draw on it. It's also got a neat air assist for engraving and cutting. So when you're engraving, air comes out at 1 psi or 1 pressure. And when you're cutting, it comes out at whatever else you want to do. But you're going to need a secondary air compressor or a bigger air compressor to be able to really utilize the cutting to allow that max air to come through the line and the nozzle. It's got nice little lights. You can turn them on and off, and you can kind of hear them switching. And that's all done through. There's some relays down there. There's solenoids that turn them on and off. I don't know about the wiring and all that good stuff, but on this one, I'm gonna plumb in a air dryer. I know I'm just using the silver Chinese pump, but an air dryer is good because it takes out particulate and water that might make its way in there. So yeah. So anyways, so that's something that I'm gonna do. It'd be nice to have it on there. Also with the pressure, it'd be nice to have like a gauge or something, so you can kind of see what your air pressures are. Because you know, most people, I would assume, would put a regular air compressor, and you want to know what the pressure is in there, so you can regulate it. Other than that, I mean, every panel on this thing, except for the lid itself, locks. There's a panel that goes right here that locks as well. Then you got your lower panel down here that also locks, comes out. You use it as a pass through. The blades come out of the machine, and there's also a honeycomb bed. The blades come out. There's also a honeycomb bed, which is pretty neat. They have pre-drilled holes, and then on the back of the honeycomb, you have these little lugs that stick out, so alignment pins. So it's easy to put in, easy to take out, and it quickly lines up in the pins and holds it in place, keeps it from shifting, which is really nice. A lot of them don't do that, and they move around, as you know, and can make things kind of difficult. I think that's pretty much it. I just wanted to give a quick rundown of the machine, and oh yeah, I'll show you my air compressor right there, and then the blower that comes with it's a pretty good blower. I think it's around 300 CFM, something like that. I don't think I got the box. I don't want to pull it out to check, but I think it's right around 300 CFM. And then I just exhausted it right out the window, so that way I didn't have to put a second hole or a third hole in my shop for the laser. So at any rate, that is the Thunder laser. Also have your main switch, your laser switch, your Ethernet, USB, and PC cable. So but that's pretty much it in a nutshell. Sorry I keep kind of jumping around, but if you have any questions or comments about the machine, how it works, how it performs, there's some videos on here I'm doing slowly but surely to kind of test this machine against some others that I have. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope everybody has a good day, and if you have any questions, again, please leave your comments in the comment section, and I will get back to you and answer any questions I can as soon as possible. All right, have a good day.